With our gathering today, we celebrate a new beginning and join in a time-honored Westminster College tradition. Out of respect for this tradition, we ask that all cell phones be placed on silent. I declare the 2024 new Student Convocation open. Everyone, please remove your hats. And faculty members, platform party, students, parents, and guests, please stand. For the invocation to be delivered by Chaplain Logan John, Director of Westminster Center for Faith and Service.
Please join me in prayer. Spirit of eternal wisdom, we greet your presence on this hallowed day where we gather to welcome these students into our college. Bless this convocation, God, that these students may leave here today not simply as individuals, but as members of our collective community. Make holy our efforts to inspire, lift up, and celebrate these students. Lord, entrust in our hearts a room for these students so that the loving kindness of this convocation is felt throughout their college years. In your holy name, amen. Now please remain standing for the national anthem.
Well, first off, please, if you have a hat, you may place it again on your head, and please just relax. I just want to thank you and welcome all of you this afternoon to our ceremony. This convocation ceremony honors the class of 2028. I am Don Lofi, President, Chief Transformation Officer of Westminster College, and a proud graduate of 1979. And on behalf of our Westminster College community and the Board of Trustees, it is truly my honor and pleasure to welcome all of you to this event. At this time, I would especially like to welcome our convocation speaker, Ms. Sissy Franklin, from the class of 2018, along with their parents, Karen and Sherman, who are seated here in the front row, as well as Daniel Backer from our Churchill Singers Vocal Performance Group, family members of our students, our faculty and staff, and those of you watching virtually, and most especially you, the class of 2028. As you begin your journey at Westminster, you're joining a tradition of excellence dating back to 1851. Their ceremony is one I participated in nearly 50 years ago in this very same place. Like you, I'm sure, I felt a mixture of excitement and uncertainty as I began to pursue my passions, including academic education, majoring in accounting and political science, and joining our cross-country and track and field teams. By graduation, I realized what many before me had discovered. Westminster prepares you foundationally to pursue your ambitions with excellence. I quickly began my career after college as a staff accountant at a Big 8 firm, and later entered a rigorous graduate business school program, clearly thanks to the solid foundation Westminster provided to me. I'm not telling you this just to talk about me, I assure you. Instead, my intent is to illustrate that Westminster College had a transformational impact on my life, a journey, and it will impact you, which you are about to embark on in your experience. John and Madison, your new classmates, made reference to that in their opening remarks at the column ceremony. And we, faculty, staff, and the Board of Trustees, we really welcome you, and we're really excited you're here. To the parents of the class of 2028, I know you are proud, and probably some other emotions, including maybe some anxiety. My wife, Lorraine, and I experienced exactly what you're going through in recent years as we watched our son and daughter, twins, navigate the newness of college life, living away from home, unfamiliar classes, packed schedules, interesting dorm considerations, requiring professional organizational skills, and to be expected, a few changes in their majors along the way. That was me as well. I can try to provide you some assurance. It will all work out. We are a smaller college by design, where each student, and we truly try to strive for this, is known by name and not a number. Very soon, you, the class of 2028, I can assure you that virtually everyone on campus will ultimately know you and your fellow classmates as a student body, as well as your major and hopefully your interest and any other matters that you think are very important to you to bring to the attention to us, faculty, staff, and the Westminster community. We truly care about your well-being and are rooting for you each and every day. My best wishes to you as you begin your Westminster College journey, and don't be surprised if I greet you by name, or my colleagues, or your friends, or the faculty and staff, Board of Trustees will greet you by name when they see you on our beautiful campus. Thank you, and at this time, I'd like to introduce you to the other members of our platform party this afternoon. First, Derek Zander, our Vice President of Intercollegiate Athletics, Athletics Advancement and Strategic Programs. Next, Dr. Ingrid Alinka, Provost, Chief Academic Officer, and Vice President of Academic Affairs and Chief Retention Officer. Next to Dr. Alinka is our college chaplain you just met, Logan John. And the final member of our platform party today, again, is Ms. Sydney Franklin. Now at this time, I'd like to invite Derek Zander to present to this new class. Derek is one of our senior cabinet members involved in student affairs. Paul Orson couldn't be with us today to a medical matter. Derek?
Thanks, Don. And hello, everybody. On behalf of Westminster College students, faculty, and staff, I have the unique honor and privilege of presenting the 174th entering class to the Westminster community. They exemplify the essence of Westminster's mission to be critically aware leaders of character, committed to the values of integrity, fairness, respect, and responsibility, values outlined in Westminster College's mission statement. These values stem from the Athenian oath you just pledged loyalty to at the columns. We take these values seriously, and I know the class of 2028 will conduct themselves according to the fundamental principles that Westminster students have adhered to for more than a century. Our enrollment services and many student life staff members have met this class, and I am confident they will grow to be great leaders in the next 4 years. Representing 15 states, the students before you today claim a diversity in culture, ethnicity, status, identity, and expression that is paramount to an enriched learning environment. I am pleased to recognize Madison Plybin, From Fulton, Missouri, who was the student who made the first commitment to be a member of the class of 2028. I am also pleased to recognize Blessing Kahaya from New Zealand, who is the student who traveled the furthest to be with us today. We are also proud that 23 of our new students have a legacy connection to Westminster College, a grandparent, a parent, or sibling who attended here previously. Would those legacy students please stand and be recognized? And at this time, I ask the class of 2028 to please stand. You all seem really excited to be standing right now. President Lofi and the greater Westminster community, I am proud to present the 174th entering class to Westminster College. You can be seated now. Thank you. And now, I would like to introduce Dr. Ingrid Alinka, Provost, Chief Academic Officer, Vice President of Academic Affairs, and Chief Retention Officer. Thank you.
Thank you, Derek. And good afternoon to you all. Students, allow me to join my colleagues in wishing you a warm Westminster welcome. We are delighted to have you here, ready to embark on this exciting journey. College is a transformative time, filled with promise and opportunities. It's when you'll curiously explore, discover, and adapt like never before. A curious mind opens doors to understanding our world and ourselves. The more we know, the better equipped we are to tackle challenges head-on. With this in mind, I have 3 pieces of advice for you today as you begin your Westminster journey. First, embrace curiosity and lifelong learning. Dive into this adventure with an open mind. Embrace the multitude of paths to knowledge. This will help you find your academic trajectory and build a solid foundation for your future career. At Westminster, we champion lifelong learning because our world is ever evolving. Science, technology, and workplace demands will keep changing, but the need for continuous learning and adaptation remains constant. Second, define and pursue your version of success. Our mission is to see you thrive so you find success. By success, I mean living true to yourself, mastering the knowledge and skills that make you a confident, evolving professional. It's about aligning your career with your values and achieving balance in your life. Success is when your dreams and hard work lead you to your desired destination, both professionally and personally. Third, and finally, utilize the support and resources available to you. Your journey here won't be a straight line. You might change your major or career path several times, and that's perfectly normal. What matters is keeping an open, curious mind and embracing your unique journey. Your academic and professional paths, desires, and needs will be uniquely yours. We are here to support you every step of the way. Developing strong learning habits and honing your skills will greatly impact your success. Take diverse courses, engage with our exceptional faculty, and seek out mentors. Get to know them, ask questions, and use their feedback to grow. Participate in research to broaden your intellectual horizons. Your academic advisors and career development counselors will help you connect coursework, majors, and career goals. Explore study abroad and internship programs for real-world experience. Visit our library for resources, quiet study spaces, and tutoring. I'm so glad you've chosen to spend these crucial years with us. I can't wait to see you around campus, and I wish you an outstanding academic year. And now I invite President Lofi back to the podium.
Thank you, Ingrid. And it's my distinct pleasure, and I'm very pleased to introduce our 2024, again, Convocation speaker, Ms. Sydney Franklin. Sydney is a self-described proud native of Dallas, Texas, who graduated from Westminster in 2018 with a degree in security studies in Spanish. At Westminster, Sydney was a campus leader who was honored as the 2017 Emerson Fellow. She published several co-authored pieces and presented her bilingual capstone thesis, a comparative analysis of Latin American military dictatorships, at an international conference in Quito, Ecuador. Today, she puts her Westminster education to use as a policy officer with the United States Department of State, where she specializes in advancing human rights for marginalized communities in Europe and Eurasia. In that capacity, Sydney supports the U.S. Special Representative for Racial Equity and Justice, manages the Roma Issues Working Group, and addresses racially motivated extremism and terrorism. She also is the lead on UN engagements for people of African descent. Her background also includes criminal justice training and capacity building, particularly in the Caribbean. Again, it's my pleasure, and please join me in welcoming Ms. Sydney Franklin.
Thank you, President Lofi, trustees, faculty, staff, parents, and the Westminster College class of 2028. Writer E.B. White, known for children's classics Stuart Little and Charlotte's Web, once said that he gets up every morning determined to both change the world and have one hell of a good time. Westminster sets students up for the opportunity of a lifetime to both change the world and have a good time en route. And since I do both on a somewhat daily basis, and I was in your seat exactly 10 years ago yesterday, I proffer these rules of my life as essential to success. First, think thoughtfully and critically in whatever you do. The single greatest lesson I learned on this campus was not what to think about any one thing specifically, rather how to think about everything thoughtfully and critically. In the decisions you make and the operative assumptions you have about your deepest held convictions, thoughtful, critical thought about the people they affect and the implications of a position is of paramount importance. Because the reality is this: not one of us lives in a vacuum. Interestingly, E.B. White was a prolific writer, but only tried his hand at children's literature on behalf of his niece. His are beloved bedtime stories and characters in households across America because he took the time to create something for someone else to enjoy and treasure. Which brings me to number 2. Life is a group project, which requires an insistence on integrity and compassion for the community. You did not get here today without generations of people who went before you and a village of people who walked beside you. Since some of my village, for example, is here with me today, it's imperative that I pause now to honor each of them. First and foremost, I have to give glory and honor to the Lord Most High, without whom I would not be alive nor standing in front of you today. My birth story was a miracle, 10 years in the making, and I am living proof that God keeps promises and his word never fails. I want to honor my parents, Sherman and Karen Franklin, without whom I would not be the scholar nor conversationalist that I am. I am the product of these two thoughtful, prayerful, hardworking, and fun-loving human beings. I want to honor Dr. Tobias Gibson, seated with the faculty behind you, through a short aside. One semester, during a voluntary, optional, you sign up for it, travel, study abroad, self-defense class, I asked Tobias, as he prefers to be called, how I could get out of a chokehold. And after putting me in a chokehold, he walked me through it. You see, from Tobias, I learned that at some things you can be successful by researching, thinking, and asking about them. Others, whether it's having hard conversations, making the perfect smoothie, managing your time well, baking a cake, or getting out of a chokehold, you will only ever learn the thing by doing it. Tobias, I am indebted to your persistence, pedagogy, and generosity towards ensuring that your students would learn by doing, being it in seminars, at conferences, on panels through internships, in Missouri, Illinois, DC, or Ecuador, and that I would, quote, have the type of career that books are written about. His words, not mine. Dr. Natasha Sexton, who is joining us virtually today, I did not know this at the time, but upon reflection, I realized that your invitation to join the Churchill Singers positively recolored my Westminster College experience. The 4 semesters I stood on your risers were authentic, incomprehensibly cathartic, and made the halls of Westminster respirable when I most needed a breath of fresh air. Dr. Sexton, I consider it the joy of a lifetime to have been directed by you. And finally, to my dear girlfriends, with lunches in the D Hall, sunset drives down Route Z, tequila Fridays at Jalisco's, walks on the trail behind Coulter Science Center, and spicy tuna tempura rolls at Love Sushi, there were times when you literally held me together at my stitching. Thank you for loving me fiercely. Students, the reminder that life is a group project may be welcome or disastrous news to you, but my unabashed chief aim is for you to understand that the success of group projects requires you to insist on integrity and demonstrate compassion for the community. There should be little, if any, cognitive dissonance between what you say you believe and how you live your life. You were made for far more than the major that you declare or drop, the club, sorority, or fraternity you join or don't receive an invitation from, and the age-appropriate late-night activities for which I'm sure you'll use wisdom and discernment to participate in. The campus involvement noted in my bio, while integral to building my capacity as a competent professional, are highlights, punctuation marks of my college experience. But there isn't enough paper to list the through line of opportunities I had that Westminster offers to build impactful relationships on campus and in Fulton. So be involved in philanthropy through the Campus Activities Board, Greek Life, Student Ambassadors, or the Student Government Association. Make art with the Churchill Singers by learning and using another language, or with the most vulnerable at a senior or assisted living facility in town. Take action, try things, have fun doing so, make mistakes, be humble when they happen, and pour into this community who will ride with you the highest of highs and the lowest of lows. Which brings me finally to number 3. In word and in deed, with candor and curiosity, be kind to one another. People will remember how you make them feel, and they'll probably remember what you say to them too. Be radically candid so that you're known as someone who is direct and honest, but kind. Be curious about, not cruel to, that with which you are unfamiliar, humbly asking questions of people who have different lived experiences than you, humbly learning about people from different places than you, and doing so with kindness. I'd be remiss if I didn't conclude today with one more story. It was Westminster alum Peter Myers, class of 1980, who first suggested that I consider Westminster. He set out to be 5 things in life: a farmer, a lawyer, a preacher, a teacher, and a playwright, and he accomplished them all with grandeur before he passed away in 2017 while I was a junior at Westminster. In short, he graduated summa cum laude with his law degree from Mizzou and went on to practice with a federal judge and in a private firm for the likes of AT&T and Xerox. He wrote a play that was performed at the Edinburgh International Fringe Festival in Scotland. And as an English and Law Academy teacher, he coached the Creekview High School mock trial team to 3 Texas State Championship wins, a 5th place finish at the World Mock Trial Championship, several individual awards at the regional, state, national, and world competitions, and in 2014, despite all of these accolades, the award he was most proud of. Awarded to the team that peer state competitors agreed was the most collegial, the Team Professionalism Award. After receiving the Professionalism Award and then being named state champions that year, a feat our team captain had told him was impossible, I was wrong. We gathered for our team photo at the front of the courtroom in front of a canvas that the judge kept on their bench. The quote, by none other than Winston Churchill, read, "Never give in. Never, never, never." Peter did not have biological children of his own, but we, his students, are his legacy, and he worked tirelessly to instill in us Churchill's valuable lesson. And so I leave it with you today. Never give in. Think thoughtfully and critically. Never give in. Insist on integrity and demonstrate compassion. Never give in. Engage with the world around you with radical candor and humble curiosity. You are in the midst of farmers, lawyers, preachers, teachers, playwrights, and more who will undoubtedly change lives and change the world. So Westminster Class of 2028, I wish you one hell of a good time doing it. Go get 'em.
Thank you, Sydney. Very inspiring words. Class of 2028, again, your Westminster journey begins now and this afternoon. The pace will be fast, with many diverse opportunities ahead of you. In just 4 years, you'll return through the columns as an alumnus, not as new students. You will be engaged, challenged. You'll have failures along the way, but you will be supported in every step of that way during this transformational educational journey. As Sydney mentioned, guide your actions by our own core values of integrity and kindness, fairness, respect, responsibility, and you will succeed. Once again, welcome to Westminster College. And before we have Daniel come on stage, I'd like to give a round of applause for all the folks who helped put this on over the last 2 days, and those of you not here. Please join me in a round of applause for everybody. And students, please join me and our staff and faculty for a round of applause for your parents, because you're here because of them today. Daniel, would you join us on stage, please? This is very much a tradition for us, and please, after Daniel sings and performs our alma mater, please remain standing for the benediction.
All right, and if you'll turn your pamphlets around, on the back there is the lyrics for the song. So if you'd like to sing along with me, you certainly can. On the hills of old Missouri, tapestried in green, rise
Westminster. Hail, O Mother Queen. Hail, Westminster, alma mater, on thy hilltop throne. Sons and daughters pledge devotion, thine we are thine own.
Please remove your caps and join me in prayer. Holy Spirit, having performed our ceremonial duties, we now recognize these, the newest members of our flock. Lord, guide us as we nurture these students. Make holy the instruments of our college. Lift up their needs that we might sustain their thirst for wisdom, their hunger for learning, and their pursuit of knowledge. Faculty and staff, we have been entrusted with a mighty task to walk with these students, to guide these students, to challenge these students. Students, we know your task is heavy too. Our warming world cries for leadership. The earth is changing, technology is evolving, and you will be part of the future yet to come. As the years go on, may this convocation sustain you. May the values we at Westminster hold dear live within you. May you someday be blessed to call this place your alma mater. We ask this blessing in the name of all that is holy. Amen. You may now put your caps back on.
Please remain in your seats until the platform party, faculty, and students have exited the area. The Skulls of Seven will first dismiss the platform party and then the faculty and students. Finally, we invite all new students and families to an informal reception with light refreshments in the foyer. I now declare this convocation closed.